What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have like and sub, and let's get into this. And actually, before we get into the topic at hand, which is surprisingly, everyone is gay, or at least the potential to be. Here we have the ratio on that trailer from, just 2 days ago, coming up on 2 million views, 225,000 downvotes to not even 40,000 likes, sitting there at 39. And then a trailer that just came out showing the actual gameplay, which didn't look horrible, but just shows you where everyone's mood is at. Not the same ratio, still ratioed. Again, 1.5 million views, 88,000 downvotes to 62. So not as much of a ratio. So clearly the gameplay isn't taking as much heat as the actual companions and the look of it, or at least the look of that first trailer. And speaking of companions, here we have Dragon Age, the Veilguard game director confirms all companions are pansexual and that the game features pornography. And that just means it has nudity sex scenes, which all the good BioWare, and frankly, I think all games should have sex scenes. So Trent and I disappear. Again, he is heavily Catholic, and anyone that puts the archdiocese in their articles and don't think we won't be seeing him in this one, I'm just mentioning it because it's fun. So he's obviously not going to agree with this. That being said, I want those sex scenes and the characters to be done well, and for there to be a healthy dose of heteronormativity, because maybe that's what 99% of us are. And so here we go. Dragon Age, the Veilguard confirms in it, the director, a man who claims to be a woman and calls himself Corrine Bush. Well, I'm not going to misgender her. How dare you? So Corrine Bush has confirmed that all companions in the game are pansexual. The reason I have a problem with this is I'm salty because in Cyberpunk 2077, I got a crush, and everyone else does, on Judy Alvarez. But if you are straight, you cannot romance. You will not romance straight characters. You have to be a lesbiana. And so, yeah, you know what? And that's fine because that's her character. Shockingly enough, I think you are born gay or straight, and so if you build a character around that, it should be very hard to just make any character be able to go any way. It sort of takes away some of the agency, if you will. So Bush insists that they're all specifically pansexual, and that might come through in what you learn about their backstory. So just conveniently, every single companion is pansexual, and then based, I guess, on how you interact with them, they further refine their sexualities. Their past experiences or partners, they'll reference them and indeed who they'll become romantic with. He continued, for instance, we saw Harding. I might be playing a straight male character flirting with her, but I choose not to pursue a romance. She might get together with Tash. By the way, all of these characters just got roasted for just the most DEI, obvious, boring characters. So my perception, my identity has no bearing on their identities, and that comes through really strongly. He went on to detail, it's not until the later parts in the game where you really commit to romance and it gets pretty spicy. As for the sex scenes in the game, Bush confirmed they do indeed occur. Of course, we are an M-rated game. We do have nudity. He elaborated, our companions, we want them to be relatable and fully realized so they can get spicy, but in a way that I think people will actually relate to. By the way, none of that sounds horrible to me. It's just that the people they're talking about getting spicy with aren't fully developed awesome characters like an Isabella, or if this was any other of the good games, Italia, Liara, something like that. He elaborated, our companion, fully relatable. Okay, so some of them are more spicy than others. Just like real life, our companions have such diverse personalities, but some of them are more physical, more aggressive, and some of them are more. We have a gentleman necromancer, for instance. This is more intimate and sensual, he concluded. Bush's comments come in wake of him, her, they, it, they, whatever, confirming that the entire Dragon Age franchise was inherently very queer. And I mean, it was inherently very queer in the sense that it had fully developed queer characters, but they weren't most of the time the male characters or the main, menu item characters, and you had to go sort of out of your way to find all that stuff. But the Zevrins, and I loved those characters. Done really well and fun, and not pandering, not virtue signaling, not corrupting, just showing that those characters existed in those worlds and they were done correctly. No faith, no such faith that that will be done here. And instead of 1 or 2 characters, it's all the characters that will be like that. Grin said, as a trans woman, I have a perspective on the games that not everyone has. Yeah, no shit. I think that most of us don't. Dragon Age has long been a place where LGBTQIA plus folks can see themselves represented respectfully. It's inherently very queer, and it's such a rare thing for marginalized communities to have such a representation. We feel proud and powerful in how we depict it. Yes, it is, which is why it's so sad that it's probably going to be turned into a farce, and obvious and hammered home, and with no subtlety or nuance and no quality, just real obvious shit. And that's what people are rejecting. That's why you're seeing ratios like 225,000 to the upvotes of not even 40. Anyway, let me know what you think of this. Do you see it? The gameplay didn't look horrible, but who cares how fun the gameplay is if everything... I'm not doing the poop cookie thing where you eat around it. No. Gameplay is fine, but if the story and the characters and everything else is abhorrent to me, then I'm not going to watch it. So let me know what you think of this. Make sure to, or play it rather. Make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And
well, bye.